Hi y'all, Karma here. Hope you're having an amazing day. It's beautiful here in Arizona, except for it's getting too hot already. I'm super excited. At the time of this recording, I've actually got 8 days left before I pack up the trailer and head to Colorado to the new house for the summer. And I'm super excited to get up there and do videos for you up there, show you all the beautiful things around Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be opening Apothecary at Home. It looks much better this way. Apothecary at Home. Apothecary at Home is a monthly subscription book, a monthly subscription box that revolves around herbs. And as you know, I am working on my natural path right now, and so it's a great way to delve into one of my 9 units, which is herbalism, so that I'll earn my master herbalist. And so I wanted a way to learn just a little bit at a time, maybe look at, something where it just didn't feel like so much to bite off. And this is the perfect way. It's themed on something. They send you 3 different herbs and then different recipes and such that you can make with them. It costs $39.99 a month if you order it monthly, and then of course there are price breaks if you get it prepay more than a month at a time. And I do have the subscription information in the video description below, along with the link and a coupon, Karma15, for 15% off your box. Now I know they are going to be changing their links for that, and so I think that will only work till the end of May, and then there's some things going on administratively for me to be able to get another link to give you a discount again. So in this box now, when you first open it, it's not like amazing as far as what's in the box. You do receive your letter beforehand. And this month is on herbs for energy and focus, although they really work on sleep, energy, and focus, because if you're not getting enough sleep, then it's hard to have the energy and focus that you need. So it really focuses on sleep, energy, and focus. And in the little newsletter, or in your information guide, they send this out via email before you get the box, so you can start studying if you want to. And you can choose to just get these electronically like this, or you can choose to have them printed in your box as well. And right now I'm still having them printed in the box. I know that's not very eco-friendly, but I get these and print these up so that I can study before I do the box unopening. But I really like their little pamphlets because they're so small, and I can keep those cataloged, and it really useful for me to have them in those sizes. So first off, let's look a little bit about what they have in this packet. So in this packet, they tell you what's inside the box. And then they have an introduction to energy and focus, and give you some different ideas on even different readings that you could do for that. Then they have a section on all about sleep, and I'm going to share just a couple of little things in here with you. Sleep is when our system does damage control on the daily wear and tear and prepares us for all of the mountains, big and small, we'll need to climb the following day. Our brain regulates our blood sugar levels and manages the hormones that control our appetite and metabolism during sleep. A good night's sleep is also extremely supportive of our mental well-being. It also supports improved memory and focus, as well as creative thinking. This is really important. People who suffer from sleep dysfunction may find challenges emerging both physically and professionally. They might fall asleep at inappropriate times or have issues concentrating. They may also experience mood disorders and a variety of health issues like impaired immunity, vulnerability to chronic illness, slowed metabolism, and reproductive dysfunction. So sleep is just so important to us. And many of you know that I deal with anxiety and depression, and part of that is insomnia that I deal with. And I deal with insomnia and restless leg syndrome, so I have a very difficult time getting to sleep and getting good restorative sleep when I do sleep. So this was a great focused box for me. It does go into the sleep cycles, the N1, N2, N3, and then REM sleep, and talks all about that. Then it goes into herbal actions for sleep, and I am going to go over these because you are going to hear these in the herbs that I talk about. First is a nerving relaxant. Nerving relaxants act as gentle, neutral tranquilizers and can be quite effective in treating insomnia. They can be particularly helpful for people who suffer from sleeplessness, nervous tension, or racing thoughts. Taken in large quantities, their sedating actions can become more pronounced, so moderation is the key. And some examples of a nerving relaxant are valerian, chamomile, lemon balm, linden, passion flower, hops, kava, lavender, skullcap, wild lettuce. Then there's hypnotic. Like the name suggests, hypnotic herbs support the deeply restful sleep. Some of them work by releasing volatile oils which have a relaxing effect on tense muscles. Others contain alkaloids that have a directly sedative effect on our nervous system. Herbs that are in this family, or the herbs that share this herbal action, are valerian, California poppy, hops, Jamaican dogwood, kava, passion flower, and wild lettuce. Now, kava has become a very popular drink lately, and you're starting to see some kava bars pick up. It's used a lot in the Polynesian areas, and it's a wonderful drink for relaxation. So if you ever see a kava bar or have a chance to try a kava, try that and see what you think. Adaptogen. Herbs with adaptogenic actions are those which promote our physiological adaptability to stress. They improve our stress threshold. Adaptogens are great at harmonizing imbalances in the nervous system as well as our sleeping cycle, and their regulating effect will be unique depending on the areas which need to be amplified or suppressed in order to restore balance. Some examples of that are Eleuthero, which is in our box, and I don't know, I listened to the pronunciation, so I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Ashwagandha, licorice, and ginseng. Then it goes through and talks about the energy lifestyle and sleep hygiene, things that you can do to help improve your sleep, and a whole page front and back on that had some really great ideas on different programs you could use, things that most of us know, like turning off your electronics and those kinds of things. Then it has a whole page on feng shui for energy and talks about where to place your bed, avoid sleeping with your head against a window, those kinds of things. One thing that I found interesting, it says we love plants, but houseplants can hold too much energy for a sleep space. Save these plants for the office or study, or at least make sure they aren't by your head. Plants really are calming to me, so that was interesting for me to read, and I don't know if it holds true for me or not. Then they have the importance of ritual, talking about things that you can do morning and evening. And then we get into our herbs. So before I go into the herbs and into the rest of the packet, let's glance at our box. And as you open up your box, maybe, if I cut the sides, then you can open up the box. As you open up the box, here are the little booklets that I get, that I kind of feel guilty getting, but it's what I would like right now. We have our stickers to put on your finished products. Looks like we got a little sticker, Apothecary at Home. They just did a new logo, so that's really pretty with their new logo on it. And then the rest of the items in our box that we will go through as we open up. We've got our herbs in here, and then we've got 2 of our bottles to put whatever project you're making in while you're making it. Then we have 2 bottles to put finished product in. These are dropper bottles, as well as 2 bags to do the straining. You're going to put your herb and then whatever you're putting in with it, whether it's oil or vinegar or alcohol, and let them infuse in there for as long as it says. Usually it's about a month. And I love every day shaking them and putting my intentions into them. I just believe that makes the medicinal qualities even stronger as you put your intentions in it and show that that herb and medicine all your love. But then you'll pour that into this bag, and that will help you to strain out all the oil from the herb that's left, and then put it in your bottles. And then there are always a few bonus gifts that come in the bag too. But first, let's start with our herbs, and let's start with the Eleuthero, which I have not worked with before. And this is the Eleuthero. If I can get it down so that you can see it in the camera. So that is what it looks like. Can't see. Let me see. It's a little bit better. So that is what it looks like. And I'll show you it a little bit better as we go through this too. So Eleuthero, this is the monograph that comes with the box. 2 of the herbs come with a monograph, and then the third you do your own monograph or look one up online. And I usually look one up online and then share it with you and give them credit so that we know who did that monograph. But Eleuthero is also called Siberian ginseng. And the parts that are used medicinally are the root. The herbal actions are an adaptogen, mild stimulant, tonic, immunomodulator, radioprotective, chemoprotective, immunoprotective, antiviral, antibacterial, insulinotropic, so insulin, and neuroprotective. The preparation types are usually a decoction, tincture, or a powder. The medicinal uses. Eleuthero is used for fatigue, poor stamina, and stress tolerance. Used for adrenal support, nervous and mood disorders such as depression, mental fatigue, and poor concentration. It is a traditional remedy to improve immune function in both chronic and acute infections. Chronic means you've had it for a long time. Acute means it came on fast, or that it's an acute situation means it's happening right now. It's important right now. I'm not explaining that very well. It has demonstrated supportive effects on mood and fatigue. The central fatigue hypothesis proposes that depression, lethargy, and poor stress tolerance correspond to declining neurotransmitter levels in the central nervous system. It can mitigate and the decline of serotonin and other neurotransmitters and support levels to recover after physical stress and heavy exertion, as well as psychic stress. It has demonstrated effects on improving stamina in exhausted patients and vitality in cancer patients, as well as increasing exercise tolerance in trained athletes. Along with improving response to stress and overall endurance, it can also help boost cognitive functions and act as a neuroprotective. Now, I do want you to know that the things that I'm reading are studies. If you do want to know the studies and more about the studies, just let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to link those studies and let you know where that information came from. So medicinal uses, a study on an extract with the leaf found that it measurably improved memory in mice over 17 days. It increases mental sharpness and acuity in similar way to coffee without the negative effects of caffeine. Other studies have demonstrated that it acts like a general neuroprotective. Specifically, it's been shown to prevent slow movements and certain types of seizures associated with Parkinson's disease in patients where it is in its early stages. Contraindications. Traditionally contraindicated during acute infection. Pregnancy safety is unknown. In rare cases, mild diarrhea and sleep disturbance, if taken right before bedtime, could occur. In patients with rheumatic heart disease, side effects such as pericardial pain, headaches, and elevated blood pressure have been reported. So the biggest thing there, I would say, pregnancy, ask your doctor or your midwife. And as far as if you have rheumatic heart disease, then this probably is not a good herb for you to take the chance on, because those side effects are not side effects that you would want. History and folklore. The plant is known as Siberian ginseng in North America, in Japan and China, where it has been widely used to invigorate qi, meaning the general energy and vitality of a person. Indigenous peoples of the Asian continent have used it medicinally and ceremonial since before recorded history for at least 4,000 years. In 16th century Chinese herbalist said that the root, that he'd rather take a handful of it than a cartload of gold and jewels. It was also used as a poultice, a compress, and as an anti-inflammatory remedy. Traditionally, the roots were collected during the month of October, when the active constituents of the roots are highest, a practice that is still largely observed today. It's responsible for the 1947 coining of the herbal action term, adaptogen. So it was the first one that got that term. That's kind of cool. Magical uses. According to modern magic, ginseng root should be carried to attract love, for protection, fulfillment of wishes, drawing money, and to promote general good health and vitality. So, our next herb is ginkgo. Let's see. Where's our ginkgo? Ginko biloba. And you can see in these herbs, like these are really well packed, so we're getting a good amount. Sometimes you'll only get a small amount if it's more of an endangered herb, or you don't need that much, or it's super expensive, that kind of thing. And this says that it is the leaf, cut and sifted. So, and I'll show you a little bit better picture when we're talking about it, but Ginkgo, Latin name Ginko biloba. The parts that are used medicinally is usually the leaf, and the herbal actions are an energy enhancer, cognitive enhancer, neuroprotective, relaxant, anti-inflammatory, astringent, anti-allergenic, anti-asthmatic, brain flow, blood enhancer, circulatory stimulant and tonic, peripheral vasodilator, antiplatelet, antioxidant, bitter, nutritive, uterine stimulant, tissue perfusion enhancing, and an antispasmodic. The preparation types are typically a tea, tincture, oxymel, acetum, or an electuary. Medicinal uses. More than 400 clinical and experimental studies using ginkgo extract demonstrate, and they're calling it GBE for Ginko biloba extract, so if I say GBE, demonstrates its wide range of beneficial psychological effects. GBE is a powerful antioxidant that prevents free radicals from damaging cellular membranes, an effect that has been found to be especially beneficial in brain and nerve cells. These varied psychological effects support the role of GBE for a variety of conditions, including inadequate peripheral and cerebral blood flow, memory enhancement, Alzheimer's disease, vertigo and equilibrium disorders, tinnitus, cochlear deafness, senile macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, impotence, premenstrual syndrome, idiopathic cyclic edema, mood elevation, depression, allergies, and altitude sickness. GBE has been shown to increase blood flow to the brain in more than 40 double-blind studies. GBE has demonstrated effectiveness comparable to FDA-approved drugs used in the treatment of cerebral vascular inefficiency and Alzheimer's disease. That's quite a lot to say, right? I'm so glad that we are starting to get more studies done and know which herbal remedies can really even replace some of the pharmacological drugs that we're taking. That being said, I do believe there are times when we should be looking at the pharmaceuticals that we have, especially with an acute condition that needs to become under control really quickly. And then we can start looking at herbs with your doctor, with your naturopath, to see if we can maybe replace some of those pharmaceuticals with herbs, get your body back into balance, and then hopefully, like myself, I have gotten off all of my prescription drugs. So I have been taking antidepressants, anti-anxieties over the years, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, things for my restless leg syndrome. At one point, I think I was taking 10 or 12 prescriptions. So I'm super grateful to be off all of them and to have found ways to heal my body so that I don't need them anymore. Contraindications. Now remember, because this does increase blood flow, there's going to be certain types of clients that we're going to look at and say this may not be the best idea for them. People should not use ginkgo if they have a bleeding disorder or are taking anticoagulant or antiplatelet medication, which are blood thinning medications. And that's because it increases blood flow, and you've already increased the blood flow with those anti-clotting drugs so that you don't get blood clots. And so you're already at risk of bleeding more easily. If you get cut, bleeding can actually be life-threatening in some people if they can't get it to stop because of their blood being so thin from those anticoagulant type drugs. So if you're taking those, you do not want to take ginkgo. Discontinue ginkgo at least 2 weeks prior to any surgical procedure. That's the same thing with aspirin, anything else that's going to thin your blood out or increase blood flow. You don't want that when you're going into surgery because, again, it might help you bleed out faster if something goes wrong. People with diabetics should monitor blood levels closely while taking ginkgo, as it has been shown to increase pancreatic beta cell function in response to glucose and may increase metabolic clearance of insulin. So if you are a diabetic or you're looking at any of those issues, work with your doctor closely if you're going to take ginkgo. Ginkgo may be involved in drug, nutrient, herb interactions with the following: aspirin, anticoagulant drugs, insulin, seizure threshold lowering drugs, trazodone, thiazide diuretics, and other drugs metabolized by the CYP450 enzymes. History and folklore. Ginkgo was almost destroyed during the Ice Age in all regions of the world except for China, where it has been a long cultivated and sacred tree. The oldest Chinese Medica shows that it was used in 2800 BC, in which ginkgo was used for asthma and bronchitis. Ginkgo leaves continue to be used in traditional Chinese medicine for their ability to benefit the brain for symptom relief of asthma and coughs. Now, my naturopath program is based in traditional Chinese medicine, so we will be learning more about that in coming videos. Magical uses. Due to its age, ginkgo is considered an elder with high magical energy and is used in longevity and age spells. So now let's look at our valerian. And this is Valerian Root, cut and sifted. So that is what it looks like. And it has a stinky smell to it. Always talks about that. Ugh. Smells like poo, kind of. Not quite, but just a stinky smell, kind of like that. And then I did want to show you in our box, we also got Valerian Seeds. Each month, they try and give you a packet of seeds for one of the herbs so that you can then grow it. And I have my yarrow outside growing, although I'm going to transplant it and bring it with me to Colorado because right now, we're getting 100 degrees here in Arizona, and yarrow just won't last in that kind of a temperature. So I got to get her transplanted and up with all the plants that are coming with me to Colorado. So Valerian, and I did want to show you, I took this monograph from Sensory Solutions. They are at sensorysolutions.co.uk, and I will put that link in the video description below so that they get credit. I try and use different sites just so that you can see what different information might be available out there on different sites. The parts of valerian that are used is the root or the rhizome, and remember the rhizome are the little shoots that come off the root, and then the flowers and leaves are also used. The actions, herbal actions, it is a sedative, a hypotensive, a carminative, mild anodyne, expectorant, aromatic, antidiuretic, relaxant, spasmolytic, hypnotic, antispasmodic, relaxing nervine, emmenagogue, influences the central nervous system, natural relaxant to the higher nerve centers, and it is called nature's tranquilizer. The organ affinities is the nervous system, muscular, skeletal, respiratory, and digestion. The medicinal and physical uses, it is because it's a nervine, it's used for nervous tension, excitability, excess nerve stress, hysterical states, as effective as benzodiazepines for relieving anxiety and stress. So it's saying that it's shown to be as effective as some prescription drugs for some people for relieving anxiety. To assist with withdrawal from Valium, Librium, or any type of a benzo addiction, it can help you with those withdrawal symptoms that you will have if you're trying to get off of those medications. It is for sleeplessness, insomnia, and restlessness, and it helps to calm frayed nerves that can encourage relaxation and deeper sleep. Anxiety, panic attacks, palpitations, and high blood pressure. Because it's an antispasmodic, it will help with relief from cramps, intestinal colic, muscle spasms, intestinal spasms, and menstrual cramps. Because it's an anodyne, it is a pain reliever indicated when tension is associated, like a tension headache, a migraine, or menstrual pain. For the females, it will help to calm female nervousness and the nervous system. And the brain, valerian's an excellent cerebral stimulant and useful for poor cerebral circulation, which may explain how it can improve concentration and reasoning abilities. It's used as a cerebral stimulant, analgesic, and sedative in nervous irritability. Because of its help with convulsions and epilepsy, valerian consumption may reduce neural excitability. Valerian consumption may reduce neuronal excitability, and by this mechanism may be neuroprotective against excitotoxic insults and contribute to the anticonvulsant properties of valerian. Other indications for use are for palpitations, high blood pressure, irritability, mental confusion, menopause restlessness, hysteria, and PTSD. Really interesting when I saw the menopause restlessness, because I do deal with a lot of that, and it's gotten worse since menopause. So I'll have to look at some of those comparisons there. Their monograph does have some really excellent recipes in it, so that's a nice little plus for their website and getting monographs from them. Safety and contraindications. There are no side effects known, no drug interactions reported. Large doses may cause dizziness or mental confusion. No evidence of dependence or withdrawal. It may be necessary to avoid driving while taking internally, especially if you're taking large doses. Remember, just like any other medication, if you take a little bit, it may help you and be fine. If you take way too much, you could have more of the effect than you want. Paradoxical reaction occurs in some people, producing an unpleasant stimulation response. This is usually in hot constituents or people that have that excitability type of a personality anyway. And, you know, it's just like a Benadryl. When you give Benadryl to kids, it often excites them instead of calms them down, where most adults, you give them a Benadryl and will fall asleep. But there are also adults who take Benadryl and still have that reverse reaction to it. So with any herbs, with any medication, you've got to know how it's doing with your body. If this isn't a good herb for you for what you're looking for, there are hundreds of others that will cover the same thing. So we can look and find one that will work the very best for you. Especially like as a naturopath, when I get a new client, I do an intake, and then I don't necessarily give them everything right up front. I do an intake, then I do a lot of research, I do meditation, things to try and help me tap into what I could utilize to help this person. And it'd be really easy as a naturopath to say, oh, you're having some mood disorders, some depression, let's give you St. John's wort. Everybody knows St. John's wort works for that. But if you have other things going on in your body, there may be a way for you to look at several different herbs that do what you want it to do and find an herb that will help you with the other things that are going on within your body system to help to heal yourself. Folklore, tradition, and magic uses. It has been used medicinally for over 2,000 years. It was first used as a treatment for brain disorder within the late 16th century. The Greeks and Romans used it to warm the body, promote menstruation, and act as an aphrodisiac. And in the Middle Ages, it was thought to be a panacea, giving it the name All Heal. The root is used in powdered sachets hung in the home to guard against lightning and placed under a pillow to aid in falling asleep. It's used in love sachets. If the couple is quarreling, introduce some herb into the area and all will soon be calm. If only it was that easy. I think we still have to do more than that, but it definitely will help. And if nothing else, even if the herb itself doesn't help and you don't believe in the magical properties, seeing that sachet of herbs will help to remind you of your intention and what you're trying to do, and will still be beneficial. Cats do love the scent, and they say that it's much like catnip and can be utilized that way. They said that because it's mostly the root that's used, that the cats will usually leave the plants alone, so you don't necessarily have a problem growing the plant. All right. Now, let's get into the project ideas, and then I'll share with you the extra items that came in our box, because, yeah, those are my favorite too. I love seeing the little products we get from them. So project ideas, tinctures generally are the strongest form of medicine. Now remember, a tincture is made with alcohol, the herb and alcohol, and they stay shelf stable the longest. Acetums, oxymals, electuaries, and glycerites are great tasting alcohol-free options, but have lower herbal constituent extraction rates and shorter shelf lives. So just look at what you're trying to accomplish, because like with the yarrow, where I was using it on my face for my wrinkles and my heat rash, I chose to put that in a witch hazel infusion because witch hazel is so good for the skin. I could have chosen to put it in an oil. Obviously, doing a tincture would not accomplish what I wanted, although taking it internally may still have had the effects that I wanted. I just wanted something topical. So then they have simple preparations. Give yourself some cognitive and adaptogenic goodness with a preparation of this energizing ginseng. Ginko for circulation, cognitive stamina, memory improvement, and mental health, and then the Valerian, a sleepy time sedative herb that is specifically indicated for worriers, particularly when they're plagued by a busy mind. And with those, you take 2 dropperfuls up to 3 times a day. All 3 of these herbs can also be used in a tea infusion. The herbal decoctions boiled in water, and then they have a bonus recipe of study session syrup, which is 2 parts strained Eleuthero, I'm always going to say that wrong, root decoction. So if you make the decoction of the root, and then 2 parts Ginko leaf electuary, which is infused with honey, and then 1 part brandy. It says combine the ingredients in a saucepan, heat over medium heat, stirring a few times, add honey as desired to sweeten, Transfer to a dropper bottle and keep in the fridge for up to 90 days. Take 1 to 2 droppers full when you could use some help focusing, like during a cram session or before a test. That being said, it does have brandy in it. It's not going to have that much brandy in it that would make you feel not like studying. Although if you are really sensitive to alcohol, that might not be the best option for you. Then we have simple tincture glycerite recipe with a folk method, and that you're using either alcohol, you can use vegetable glycerin, and you can make your concoction with any of those herbs with that. The bonus recipes that we have this month, there's an herbal rocket ball, which was adapted from nutrition/design.com, and it's an energizing power snack. It has 2 cups tahini and 2 cups almond or other nut butter, 2 cups honey, 1 cup chopped almonds or other nuts, half a cup cacao powder, half cup bee pollen, 3 tablespoons of the Eleuthero powder, and then optional, you can put 2 tablespoons of ashwagandha powder and 2 tablespoons reishi powder. I don't know reishi, sorry. 1 teaspoon ground cardamom, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, and a half a teaspoon cayenne powder. And it says to mix it well. Feel free to add more honey if you want. Roll it into small balls. Then roll in optional shredded coconut to coat the outside. Store in a sealed container in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. So that's a fun recipe. I have never seen them do a cooking recipe. Not sure I'll try that one, but might be fun to try. The tahini, I like a little bit of tahini, but not tons of tahini, so I guess it would depend on how potent it is. Then we have the Eleuthero cooling blend, and that has 2 parts of the root, 1 part peppermint, 1 part hibiscus, and can be prepared as a tea, tincture, vinegar, or oxymel. And then they have a sleep portion with valerian and passion flower. So those were our recipes for this month. I'm not sure what I'm going to make because right now I'm so focused on getting everything packed up and leaving in a week that I'm going to look at I'm just putting everything back in the box right now and then packing it up, and I'll get to all these projects for both May and June as soon as I get up there and get settled. So in each box we do receive pictures of the 2 featured herbs. And I love their pictures. So here's our Eleuthero. And I love these because they're blank on the back, and they have usually the Latin name here. I put the common name on the back, and then I also put the herbal actions, because if I know all the herbal actions, then I know what the herb does. And that makes it a really simple, easy little bit of information. Then I can go back and research if I want to really use it or put any special notes. The other notes that I usually will put on here is contraindications, because I want to see really fast if this is good for the client or myself with the contraindications. And here's our Ginko. Beautiful. I love having these pictures. I almost see this as study cards for me, where I'll have starting to get a whole pack of these, and I'll be able to just go through them and see if I can remember the information on the back. So absolutely beautiful. Then we have our loose leaf tea, and this one's energy, and their teas are always amazing. This one's on energy, and it's made by the Loose Leaf Tea Company. And it says it brews 3 to 4 cups. There's no caffeine. It has peppermint, organic Ginko leaf, organic Eleuthero root, organic eucalyptus, and organic ashwagandha. So, that's going to be a great tea. This is so amazing because it's they're calming and energizing. Because when you don't do any good to be all hyper and that kind of thing. You want to be energized but calm so that you can focus. And so a lot of these herbs, that's why you're seeing the energy versus the calming effects, and go, wait a minute, so does valerian calm or does it energize? Well, these herbs together are going to do a good job of calming and energizing so that you have good focus. Yay! I'm not going to open that till I get up to the new house and utilize it there. Let's see, we have a couple more items in here. And just like on my videos, I just wanted to show you really quick, in every box they do have a health disclaimer that says the same thing that mine does on my video, basically, that, you know, this video is for educational purposes only, and that you should check with your doctor or do your own research before you utilize any of this. We got a nice little Palo Santo, stick of Palo Santo, and you know, Palo Santo is one of my favorite cleansing smokes because it smells so good. Sage, I really like when I'm doing a heavy cleansing, but sage is a more pungent smell. The white sage, you know, sometimes you can get blue sage that isn't quite as pungent, but I just don't like the smell of burning sage as much as Palo Santo, so I tend to use Palo Santo a lot. And the last thing we have here is from Scentered. It's Focus, and I did get a pack in one of my other boxes of 4 different Scentered products. And they're therapy balms, which is really nice. So this is like a little sample of their Focus. And I really have enjoyed their products. They really do a good job. It shows you here, stop, inhale, reset. You can put it on your neck, your temples, or your wrist. And a lot of times, oh, that's wonderful. And a lot of times, you know, I'll put it here and I'll put it on my temples, I'll put it on my wrists, and then sometimes I'll even go like to my heart chakra, my solar plexus, and you'll be amazed. Most people, I taught my daughter and her friends, and they're like, whoa, had no idea. Take your essential oils if you're doing something like that and put 1 drop on the bottom of your feet, because that will just really take that herb all the way down through your body. So I'll put like a drop on the crown, a drop on my 3rd eye, a drop on my throat chakra, a drop on my heart, drop on the solar plexus, all the way down, and then I'll finish with a drop on the bottom of my feet. And by that time, you've just really opened up your whole body and opened up those chakras, and you will feel that focus and that energy that you're so looking for. So in our box this month, we got the Ginko, the Valerian, and the Eleuthero. We got the Energy Tea. We got the Valerian Seeds, the Focus Scentered Therapy Balm, as well as our 2 pitchers for our herbs. We got their new logo sticker, and then we got the normal things that come in every box, which is our 2 droppers, our 2 infusion bottles, and then our 2 bags to filter our herbs, and the little Palo Santo stick. So what a great box. Did I say the Valerian herbs? Did I get that in there? Yeah, last video I'm taping today, and maybe I need to go take a little Ginko to get some clarity and some energy back. I hope you've enjoyed opening this box with me today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and the bell. And don't forget to go to the top and press to notify me so that you know when videos come out. And I hope you're wanting to do that with me because I enjoy spending time with you. I hope you learned a lot today. I know I did. I really enjoy that you're taking this learning journey with me. This channel isn't really a channel where I say I'm an herbal expert already and tell you all about herbs. We're learning this stuff together little by little. Have an enjoyable day. Don't forget to comment and say hello. And come back often to the channel where you can say, Karma's my friend. Bye, y'all.